Manchester United handed a big boost in their transfer pursuit of Angel Gomes. Antony could be out in January, but some clubs have concerns about buying Antony. Why is that? Leny Yoro back in training, big boost then. When will we see Leny Yoro back on the pitch, and what will the impact of his return be? There is a few other transfer stories going about, a couple of South American kids and players being linked to United, and there is one wonder kid in Portugal deemed the next Ronaldo that United want to sign. And what a signing it would be. Erik Ten Hag, he could be safe until the end of the season, according to some reports. INEOS are going to make some massive changes, but it may make time, according to other reports, and more. So please do go ahead and hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new, and let's get into the video. So let's dive into this Angel Gomes story. Manchester United have registered an interest in bringing in Angel Gomes back to the club. There are currently no signs of a renewal for Gomes at Lille, meaning he'll be free to sign a pre-contract in January. So essentially what we can do in 2 months' time in January is say to Angel Gomes, sign a pre-contract with us, run down your contract at Lille, and he could join Manchester United in the summer, and we can get him for free since January. Considering there's a good player, there's a Man United Academy player, that is an English player that is doing well, and we're probably going to lose Eriksen, I think this is a very good opportunity for United. Now, I still have concerns about Gomes. Could he come to United? Are we going to get the best out of him? His physicality, the Premier League. And, is he a starter? Does he want to be a starter? But I think considering we know we're going to lose Eriksen for free, if we can replace Eriksen for Angel Gomes, one player we know we're going to lose for free, and bring another player for free, it would then give us a lot of funds to go big if we're looking to replace Casemiro with a Stiller, with an Adam Wharton type player. And I think we do need at least 2 midfielders in 2024, and INEOS know that. So I'm all for bringing Angel Gomes back to the club. I think League One's a very physical league, and he's done well there. In terms of players that could leave the club, I think it's very obvious that United want to offload Antony. They're even willing to listen to loan offers for him in January, which says to me INEOS just kind of want him gone and out the club. But that's going to be very difficult. Ajax have discussed the possibility of re-signing Antony. However, they're unsure about the state of the player's mindset after his struggles at United. And obviously there was the whole incidents that happened behind the scenes and stuff with Antony. Look, I think Antony is a good player, and I think that obviously he's not been used to his best strengths at United, but he's just not good enough for Manchester United. I think he can still go on to have a good career, but he's not good enough for United, and because of the wages he's on, which is like 200 grand a week, it's just incredibly difficult to sell him. So we're looking to loan him out in January, potentially give him more game time to see if he can get his value up so we can get some money for him in the summer. It's going to be very difficult to offload Antony, especially when teams like Ajax are still having second thoughts about it, even though Man United are like, take him on loan. It's going to be a difficult one, but apparently Newcastle are interested in the move. Talking of big news though, Leny Yoro has returned to individual training and is very close to making a return for United, although United themselves say that Leny Yoro still has a lot of work to do and he will begin the transition to team training when he's ready. His return to competition is not imminent, but he's returned to individual training. He's in that return to team training. Apparently, he could be ready just before the international break, but what United don't want to do is rush him back, because in the past we rushed loads of players back last season and they got further injuries. Even though he could be ready in 2-3 weeks just before the international break, they might wait until after the international break for him to be back. But he's on the way back. His return and recovery is going well. And one thing I will tell you is I think people are forgetting what a talent we've signed in Leny Yoro. He's got John Stones' ability on the ball and Van Dijk's ability off the ball. If we're talking about what his potential could be, he can step up into midfield. He's good at breaking the lines. He's so good at sort of, reading the game. He's fast, he's strong, he's physical. We saw in that 45-minute cameo versus Rangers just how good he can be. I think when you look at the defender that Ten Hag wants for his system, because it's a very difficult job to be a defender in Ten Hag's system because the midfield gives you a lot of work to do, Leny Yoro ticks every single box. I'm so excited to see him in a Manchester United shirt and play, but we've got to be patient. We've got to give him time. De Ligt had a few bad games here and there. Martinez has a few bad games here and there, but we know they're good centre-backs. De Ligt was man of the match last game. Martinez was player of the season in his first season. We've got to be patient with Leny Yoro, but there's a very, very good player there. And smash the likes if you're excited for his return. And also, guys, please do subscribe if you're new. I'm 1 subscriber away from 95.3k, so it'd be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button. Talk about other news. Apparently, Man United have scouted Kevin Senon this year. He's an Argentinian player. I believe he's at Boca. I think he's at Boca Juniors, and he's a midfielder who can also play on the right wing, more of a number 8, 23 years of age. I don't know enough about him to say if it'd be a good addition or not, but I know he's been linked to Manchester United, Liverpool, Tottenham and Newcastle. Reports say he only has a 15 million release clause, so it could be one of those deals that is smarter than you think. Joshua Zirkzee is apparently open to joining Juventus in January. We discussed this on my live stream yesterday. I think the media is just absolutely making it up, so do not listen to any of those stories. And apparently Kieran McKenna was pivotal in bringing Fred to United. And I actually think Fred ended up being quite a good signing for United. Maybe not for the funds that we paid for him, but I actually felt that he was sort of a goodish player. Now, there is talk about Kieran McKenna being who INEOS want in the summer. He's going to have his season at Ipswich, then INEOS could go for McKenna in the summer. Right now, we're going to get into the story that Ten Hag could get to the end of the season because the manager INEOS wants to replace Ten Hag with isn't available to the summer, so they might give Ten Hag to the end of the season unless they think they can bring an interim in that's going to do a better job. But I want to talk about this kid. Manchester United have explored the possibility of signing 17-year-old sporting wonder kid Giovanni Coenda. I don't know if I said his name right, so if I haven't, let me know in the chat. He's been dubbed as one of the most promising talents of his generation. He's been dubbed the next Ronaldo at Sporting. I saw Academy Scoop say this. While Rafael Leao dazzles on the European stage, Portugal have an opposite-sided duplicate rapidly progressing through the Sporting Lisbon ranks. His performances in the under-17s iteration of competition closely echoing those with his senior. He said, meet Giovanni Coenda, a skillful left-footed two-way right winger with frightening pace and physical attributes, and even ever-present threat in Portugal's impressive under-17 Euros run earlier this year, which saw them reach the final, bested only by victors Italy. The 17-year-old light Leao provides dependable attacking outlet and possession with requisite intelligence to make well-timed runs, resulting in constant threat in behind. Coenda retains possession with reliable consistency thanks to top-level technical ability and impressive decision-making for his age. Giovanni also brings positive influence out of possession with defensive work rate, pressing, efficiency on theme with possession exploits. Having been called up to Sporting's bench in the Europa League against Atalanta last season despite his age, Coenda's talents are no secret to the Portuguese giants. Next season could see him granted his first senior involvement to the club, which is what he said obviously earlier this year, and he's seen as sort of the next big talent in Portugal. I'm not sure why my screen just glitched there. But look, I don't know a lot about this guy. This is obviously what Academy Scoop said about him. He does a lot of sort of academy work and stuff, so it could be one to watch. But there is a lot of reports coming out that United are really interested in signing the 17-year-old, sort of seen as the next Ronaldo. We've been linked to him 3 or 4 times, and I think this would be a very INEOS signing to really make sure they can go out there and get one of the best 17-year-olds in football. Talking of INEOS, Aaron Ramsey came out and spoke about INEOS. He said this. He said, on Sergio being a Man United fan and him then having the chance to own them, I think he'll do an unbelievable job there. It's just going to take a bit of time. I think with INEOS, we can't judge them to their 3 seasons in realistically, because it is a long-term project. You know, the Glazers have ruined this club for 20 years. It's not going to take 4 months to undo 20 years of rubbish that the Glazers have done. Even though he hasn't sacked Ten Hag and people are annoyed about that, I don't think because he's keeping Ten Hag is enough decision to justify being INEOS out. I think you've got to realise that it's going to take time. He says they're very driven people and they're only used to being the best at what they do. It's never easy in the Premier League to go and just challenge and compete again, but with their ambition and their ideas, I think they have a successful spell there. Ramsey, obviously been at Nice, says that he's confident INEOS will do a good job. And then another player that's been bigged up at United is Hojlund. Jamie Carragher said on Rasmus Hojlund, I think he's starting to look a player. I was really impressed with him a couple of weeks ago in Porto. He put in a real shift and was outstanding again at the weekend. And you know, when Jamie Carragher's Hojlund, you know that he's been doing well, and I think Hojlund gets a lot of stick. I think people forget how young he is, how yes we overpay for him, but how raw he is when he signed him. And I think there's a really good player in Rasmus Hojlund, and I think, you know, if we can give him the service, I think he can develop into a top player, and I really hope it goes his way. And then last but not least, INEOS are contemplating keeping Ten Hag at the helm until the end of the season after impressive Brentford win. It was said, according to Give Me Sport, that Manchester United boss Erik Ten Hag is on course to remain at Old Trafford helm for the remainder of the season if he succeeds in building on last weekend's win over Brentford. Car owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has opted against putting together a short list of potential successors, according to Give Me Sport, which goes against everything else being reported. But I have a feeling that as a manager INEOS want, maybe 2 or 3 managers INEOS prefer to Ten Hag, and none of them are available to the summer. So I think that they're really hoping that Ten Hag could sort of make it work this season. And unless he does something amazing this season, I think he could likely be sacked in the summer. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. See you next time. Bye.